And I would love to introduce Nick to you guys, who is your host for the evening.
Yay! I am. One of the things I really appreciate about Imka is that she's able to pick me out of a crowd. Because sometimes people think I'm just Isaac from the Love Boat, and they get me confused, and I'm not my own person. I really am. As she said, I'm Nick Baskerville. We are super excited to have you here tonight. How about Bobby Black Hat Walters, right? That music that we were listening to, that is awesome.
Yes.
If you ever get a chance to go see him in a show or get any of his music, or just go to his site, just go support the brother. He is doing awesome things, and he is one of our alumni here at ASAP. We offer so many classes and so many different arts. So whether it's the regular kind of art where you kind of draw and things like that, or it's performance, or all of these different things like the storytelling and the comedy that you're going to see here tonight, we offer them to everyone in the military community. Now, let me clear this up, because if just because you play with your GI Joes as a kid, that doesn't make you military community. I mean, I'm glad that you did that. More power to you. But we mean people in the military and to retire from the military, and the spouses and the dependents and the people who help out. All of them can come partake, just like Kelsey talked about, this family, this community that we're growing, where we're helping people stay connected in these really troublesome, tough times. Now, if that's not happened to be you, but you just love what we're doing, and we hope that you do, you can still support us. Buy tickets to the shows just like you did for this one. Buy the overall pass so you can see them all. You can even just donate. ASAP is a nonprofit organization. If you go to asap.org, you can go there to find tickets. You can go there to support us, donate, and see what's next. Kelsey talked about us showing what's next so that you can see that as well. Again, asap.org, asap.org. I learned in the comedy boot camp that we operate on a rule of three. So there it is. See, I did the things that I learned.
Mhm.
Now, one of the things I do want to talk about, since it is Black History Month, and this is meant to be this is the Black Voices Matter, or the Black Veterans Matter. I want to talk about someone that inspired me to be the person that I am. No, this is not where I make a reference to John Shaft. Okay,
Mhm.
you see all this, and that's where you're going. That's not the person I'm going to talk about, but he is in my top five. There's a guy named Carl Holmes, and you probably don't know him. You may not know him unless, of course, you're in the fire service. Carl Holmes created the Executive Development Institute. He did this at a point where African Americans just weren't getting into the same or having the same opportunities for education to be able to advance into the fire service. So he created his own. And now hundreds, if not more, African Americans have not only gone through those classes, but actually elevated in rank. Now, I didn't go. Like, I went to college. I didn't finish, but I didn't finish. I just showed up, and people were nice and they were smart. But I have benefit from that, even though I did not go there, because the people who have helped me in my career and my life have helped me along the path, and that's where they went. And I bring that up because sometimes those people who are making history do so in silence. And so it's nice to be able to have a platform to be able to talk about them. All right. Are you guys ready for some stories?
Woo.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with storytelling, in this case, particularly personal narrative storytelling. These are going to be true stories. People have plucked these out of their lives. Some of them are funny, some of them are sad, they're inspiring, they're all found. That's what these storytellers are going to bring to you. They've all received training, they've done weeks and weeks of training, and they've done everything that they can think of to be able to bring the right story for this right moment here for you. Without any further ado, the first person that we're going to have come up is a former Air Force vet, coming to you live from Champa Bay. Don't you just hate it when people are just like rubbing stuff in? I mean, I'm not saying I'm salty because my team wasn't there. My team didn't even barely made it on the field. Never mind. This is not about me. This is about the next storyteller. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the virtual stage, Tammy Dotson.
Woo!
Woo-hoo. All right, Nick is a hard act to follow, but man, he has set the bar high. So last week, I want to tell you, I was out there in the garage, cleaning out the garage, going through some boxes, and I came across a box filled with papers. I look inside, and these papers are dated 1994, 1995. So we're talking like between my sophomore and junior year of college. What really caught my eye, though, was this one paper that stood out. I pulled it out and I took a look at it, and it was my evaluation form from field training. Now, field training is the ROTC equivalent of basic training. I looked at it, and to understand how the evaluation system works, it's on a scale from 1 to 5. 1 being not cutting it, 5 being exceeds all expectations. Well, let me tell you, I was looking at a 2 on this paper. Yeah, your girl needed improvement. But what really stood out, though, were the comments. Lacks followership, lacks leadership skills, doesn't like to follow directions, doesn't get along well with others. And the last line that really stood out was, she needs to reassess whether she's a good fit for the military. I put that paper down, dug through the box a little more. I found a commissioning program from 1997. I was class in 1997. My peers got their commission from General Colin Powell. And I opened up the program only to not see my name on it. You see, I graduated, I finished college, but the second semester of my senior year, I lost my ROTC scholarship. 4 months from graduation. Once again, does not meet qualifications. So I was really questioning, am I a good fit for the military? Is this right for me? You know, those words kind of stick in your head and stick in the back of your mind. I dig a little further in the box. I pull out a paper, it's dated 2003. This is a lot of comments on it. And what it was is it was peer feedback from my basic developmental education course. Doesn't get along well with others. Doesn't like to be part of the team. Likes to speak her mind too much. Gets upset when people don't listen to her ideas. I wasn't fitting into the mold. I wasn't fitting into what others thought I should be. A little further down the line. Oh, by the way, I'm a single parent. Constantly ask questions. Oh, is your husband in the military? Oh, well, what's your husband do? Get invited to events or uninvited to events because I don't like to hang out at the club and I don't like to drink and I didn't laugh at the off-color and sexist jokes. I didn't fit in. I had quickly closed that box. Too many memories just came flooding back, too many memories. I set that box aside. I grab another box, open it up, kind of timid about what I'm gonna see on the inside. But surprisingly, this box was full of plaques, full of memorabilia, full of decorations and letters of appreciation. I pull out a plaque, an annual award plaque that signified I was the best in my career field. Another plaque, annual award, signifying that I was the best in my category, quarterly awards. But what stood out the most were the letters of appreciation and the tokens of appreciation from the lives that I touched. So now, as I wake up on my own terms and I spend time out in the garden reflecting, I realize that 23 years in the military were not for me. Those 23 years were to show others that you can be successful when you don't fit the mold. Everybody defines success in different ways. For me, success was defined by the lives impacted and the people that I touched. So there is not the way. There's a way. I did it my way. What's your way? Thank you.
Give it up for Tammy Dotson.
Awesome.
Good job, Tammy.
Yeah, she did it her way, man. She persisted. You know, it's Black History Month when you got at least one Maya Angelou moment right there in the show, right there. She persisted. She stayed. She better than me. I did not. I was out. They was like, you can leave if you want to. I was like, okay, cool. I'm gone. Moving on to our next storyteller. This next storyteller, I want to put a disclaimer in front of this next one. I know I'm doing a lot of disclaimers for some of these intros. But I feel necessary. So this is what the person told me to write. Okay. Captivating, fresh, and beautiful, the embodiment of roses. Now, I'm not saying she's not those things. I'm just saying I am married, and some of you know that, and I don't need y'all causing those struggles for me.
Mhm.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the virtual stage, Roseanne Hamilton.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you, Nick. I looked at myself in the mirror. I love what I saw. It was Monday, so I had put on a crisp pair of BDUs, razor sharp edges. I was Sergeant Hamilton, baby, a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. Wow. I beamed with pride as I admired how professional I looked, hair slicked back in a bun, boots highly shined. I felt fearless as I prepared for the 20 soldiers waiting for me to train them as leaders. I love the Army. I had joined under the Be All That You Can Be campaign, and that's exactly what I set out to do. But what I loved the most was the collective sense of belongingness. There is nothing in the world like standing in an auditorium with fellow Americans, as Lee Green would sing, "If tomorrow all the things were gone, I work for all my life." That song gave me goosebumps up my arms every time. And it was that pride I carried with me as I stepped out to go work that Monday morning. I dropped my son off promptly at 6 a.m. when I soon realized I had a hangnail. I knew that was going to drive me crazy all day, so I decided to stop to buy a nail clipper before starting my busy day. I stopped at the first open convenience store I saw. It was very early, so the parking lot was still empty. I quickly parked, got out my car to dash into the store. As soon as I got out my car, this middle-aged white guy came up to me in a hurry. He was a Juliana-looking fellow with a big gut and obvious toupee. He said, "You can't park there." Confused, I looked around at the empty parking lot for a sign to see if I was missing something. I double-checked. Yep, the convenience store is open. The sign said parking for shopping customers only, all others will be towed. I thought I was good, but just in case. "Sir, I'm going into the convenience store." "I don't care where you're going. You can't park here." His face was stoic and stern, so I looked around again to see if he was seeing something that I was missing. "Sir, I'm just going into the store. I don't understand. Why can't I park here? Your kind are not welcome here. That parking space is for my clients," and he beckoned to a salon right next to the convenience store. "You need to move your car now." I thought, my kind? Did he mean soldiers? I remember they always tell us to be careful when stopping in uniform, but remembering my creed that goes, no one is more professional than I. I am a non-commissioned officer, a leader of soldiers. I chose instead to say, sir, the parking lot is empty. The sign doesn't say that. I am simply running into the store to get something and I will be on my way. And with that, I dashed into the convenience store, grabbed what I had to grab, and dashed right out trying to keep my promise of promptness. But as soon as I step out the store, this gentleman approached me again, this time with a cane in hand and angry. In my head, I was like, man, I don't need this right now. I told you to move your effing car. His face framed in anger, cane waving in the air. I said, okay, sir, I'm leaving. I opened my car door and sat down, putting the key in the ignition. But it was not over. He said, you think you can go wherever you want to? This is my effing property. Get the heck off my property, you effing nickel. Nickel. Yo, nickel. My brow knitted. Nickel? But I was still in uniform and no one is more professional than I. So I said, sir, there is no need for name calling. The sign says parking for customers of the shopping center, not just your salon. Please, there's no cars here. I don't understand. Anyways, I'm leaving now. Now in rage, he reached for my door and slammed it towards me with my left foot still on the ground. He spat in anger. I said, get the heck off my property, you effing nickel. Back. That's right. Luckily, the Army had taught me cat-like reflexes. I quickly swing my foot inside the door as the door slams towards me. The sound ricocheted throughout the sleeping neighborhood like a crack of a gunshot. My heart started pounding in my chest and I looked at him in shock. And he raised his hand above his head, his face contorted in anger and rage and hate. And I braced myself for impact on my window, but it never came. Out of nowhere, this guy ran up and said, hey, hey. And I watched in slow motions as different emotions fight for center stage within me. The gentleman quickly ran back into his salon and this black guy ran up towards me, followed by a white lady and a white guy. They were at the bus stop and saw everything. They wanted to know if I was okay. They wanted to know if I wanted them to call the police. They wanted to know if I wanted their information so they can testify in court. I said, no, no, and no. I was not okay. Like a child, I was confused. I was in uniform and the flag was on my right shoulder. Did he not see the flag? Call the police? I knew even in uniform, I was not the one the police was going to protect and serve. Go to court? Only thing that speaks in court is money, not justice. And he looked like he had a lot more to say. Finally, on my way back to work, I felt like something was changing in me. I started shaking so violently. And as I drove, the three things kept replaying in my mind over and over. The sound of my car snapping as the door slammed. The sound of this man calling me Nickelback. And my childlike voice echoing, I don't understand. Did he not see the flag? Until eventually only one thing remained, the sound of him calling me Nickelback. Nickelback. Was that what Harriet Tubman felt when she decided to leave? Was that what Rosa Parks heard when she decided she deserved better? Was that what Sandra Bland heard right before she died? Pull yourself together, Roseanne, pull yourself together. So I started pulling back from words from leaders. And Martin Luther King came to me. He said, only in the darkness can you see the stars. Let no man pull you so low as to hate him. Oh, Maya Angelou came to me and she said, now you understand That's why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. But when you see me passing, you should feel real proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, it's in the bend of my hair, it's the palm of my hand and the need of my care. Because I'm a woman phenomenally, phenomenal woman. That's me. I realized that as an immigrant, that I chose America. America did not choose me. And that night, as I took off my BDUs, stiff with pride, no longer stiff with pride, was the night I decided to no longer serve. I was not going to die for people who would not die for me. In fact, they would hurt or even kill me. The US flag still gives me chills, but it's a different kind of chills. When I see those signature hugs or those supersized trucks with their US flag mounted, chills run down my spine. So, like Martin Luther King, I too have come to dream. But in my dream, I dream that all Americans will stand honoring lives like Tamir Rice or Troy Davis or Trayvon Martin, finally united as goosebumps run up our arms and we sing, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget those lives who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defender still today. But there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Thank you.
All right, give it up for Roseanne.
Wow.
Good job, Roseanne. That's my classmate, Roseanne.
Thank you.
Oh,
You did a
Yeah.
beautiful
Wow.
job, ended it on a beautiful song. I don't want to be nitpicky, okay? But this is one small thing. When you talk about your uniform and it's stiff with pride, no, baby, that's called starch. That's that extra heavy starch that we all put into our uniforms, and we knew better. But no, seriously though, fantastic story. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
my second or third time hearing it, and it's still, it's still something to really kind of hit home. I'm gonna move to our next performer, our last storyteller before we get to the comics. I do want to address one thing. I should have addressed this in the beginning. Sometimes this is a confusing thing. When people see me on Zoom, they think my mustache is one of the filters. I know you're looking for a mustache filter on there and the afro thing, and I get it. I mean, it's Black History Month. Is that the Black History filter? Is that what we're supposed to be wearing? No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not for everybody. This is all natural. But moving on, we're going to move on to our last storyteller before we get to the comics. And this person is 41 years young, Army retiree, pursuing new passions through his ASAP experience. Ladies and gentlemen, bring into the virtual screen. Well, actually, it's a real screen. It's not virtual. But anyway, bring into the screen Keith Prather.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Hey, I wish I was 41 years young. I'm actually 61 years young. And 41 years of those years were spent in the military. So I have a passion too. I'm an Army retiree. And thank you all for having me tonight. So this is Black History Month. We're celebrating, and I want to give you my Black History moment. I have a lot of them over 61 years, but here's one that recently just got brought back to my remembrance. A CW4 named Farrell Childs, Chief Warrant Officer for Farrell Childs, and I reconnected. We had not talked in over 10 years. And he was a mentor to me, very active, very assertive, and very positive, always teaching us young warrant officers when I was one to get involved, be a leader, take leadership roles, don't sit back, don't wait. So he's my Black History Moment person that I would like to spotlight for tonight. So with that being said, let me just tell you my story. It's I asked the question earlier to MK about what's what should we talk about? And she said, something about, it can be Black history related, and it can be, or military related. So it's about me, I'm Black, and here's my military history. So I had a pretty successful career. I was a master sergeant in the Army, had been in, about 16 years. And I got excited. I had gone to a briefing where they were recruiting for warrant officers. Now I was on my way to make Sergeant Major, which is the highest enlisted rank, which is pretty good, right? For a humble guy who started out as a private E1. And so I was pretty happy, pretty comfortable, I'd done pretty good. But then I went to this briefing and said, hey, you want to be a warrant officer? And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like what you're saying. And I put it off. About a year later, it came back around again, and I got excited again, and I actually put my application in this time. So I put my application in, I send it off, it goes off into wherever the big Army sky is, and somebody makes a decision on you. And about 3 months later, I got a letter back saying, hey, guess what? We've accepted you as a warrant officer candidate. Congratulations. So I was excited, of course. And now it was time for me to go to school. So this was back in 1995, the summer of 95, actually. And I had to go to warrant officer candidate school. And warrant officer candidate school is in this lovely place called Southern Alabama, Fort Rucker. And if you know anything about Southern Alabama in the month of June, it's hot as Hades down there. But here I go. I'm on my way. I'm excited. I'm driving down. I've been in the Army, like I said, some years, and I've achieved some, decent rank. And I'm going down there. I'm driving down. I'm all in a good mood and excited about this new challenge of mine. Finally I'm making a transition to move on to the next level. I get to the school, and it's a Sunday. I'm checking in like normally we do. We check in on Sundays. And we, get our room assignments, and we go to bed, and we get ready for the next day to start class. So I'm trying to check in, and these two guys are standing in this little room in this window, and I'm saying, hey guys, check me in. And they're looking at me, but they're not talking to me. I'm like, I'm Master Sergeant Prather, I'm here to check in. I'm like, what? In my mind, I'm going, what the heck is wrong with these guys? This guy walks by me, tall white guy with a black hat on, a black shirt, similar to this, but it didn't say ASAP. And he walks by me, and then I catch him in my periphery. He doesn't say anything. He does a about face, and he starts coming back in again this way towards me again. And he stops, and he looks at me, and he says, what do you want? And I looked up, and I said, hey, sir, I'm here to check in. And my name is Master Sergeant Prather, and I'm here to go start the class, tomorrow. Get out of my building. And I'm like, I had to stop and collect my thoughts, okay? Because I'm thinking, I'm a Master Sergeant in the Army. I've been in 16 years. You just don't talk to me any kind of way. I'm here to do my thing, right? But there was a part of me that knew something was not in order. This was not my normal Army school. So I put my drill sergeant hat on real quick, and I said, all right, Keith, collect your thoughts. Don't lose it. Be cool. And I did. And I grabbed my stuff, and I swiftly walked out of the building. Now, as I got out of the building, I'm thoroughly confused. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I need to check in. I don't want them to mark me as AWOL. So I see this guy in the parking lot, and I said, hey, man, I'm trying to check in. What's going on? And I could tell he was, one of us, a student that is. And he was like, hey, come with me. So he takes me to this building. He says, change it to your uniform. Then you can go sign in. So I changed it to my uniform in this empty room. And then I go over there, and I actually did sign in. And that guy wasn't there either, by the way. So I felt a little bit better. But after I got my room assignment, I go up to my room, I put my stuff in the locker, and I go to bed because it was getting late. So bottom line there is I go to bed, I'm resting, I'm getting ready, to start the class the next day. About 4:30 in the morning, I hear all of this screaming. Hey, get up, get up, get up. And this banging on the walls and on the doors. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm back in basic training again. So I jump up, like a deer in the headlights, and I'm I follow the crowd, basically. We all run through, you know, to get our morning routine done, and we're off and running. Okay. And from that day, from that moment forward, it was like 110 speed. And we were treated basically like dog meat for that whole process. But let me tell you, that wasn't the only challenge I had. The next challenge for me was, and I was doing pretty good along the way, was this thing called phase. Now, phase is an inspection where you have to pass phase to be advanced from what they call junior level to senior level. And phase is an inspection of your person, of your room, and you have to, you know, go through certain protocols to get through this thing. Well, basically what happens is this. You stand by in your room, the TAC officer comes to your room, he announces himself, comes in and he inspects, and he's checking off. He has a clipboard with all this stuff he's checking off. So he's checking. He walks over to me and says, "You failed." And I was like, oh my God, I fail? I never fail. I do good. I'm pretty good at everything I tried in the Army, you know? So my heart sunk. Here I am, I failed. Bottom line, he just walked out. He didn't care. You failed. So I'm out there, I'm in my room, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm a failure. So here I go, trying to collect my thoughts. I'm walking around, failed the phase, and thinking I'm not gonna make it. And you get re-inspected. So I had a couple of days to get my act together. But that night while I'm in bed, I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? I got myself into something that I probably shouldn't have done. I should have just become a sergeant major. This is not worth it. And a tear rolls down this eye and this cheek, and then out of this eye and this cheek. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing to myself? So anyway, I go through that little mourning period. I wake up the next day. I said, no, man, you got to get yourself together. You're going to make this. You came down here for a purpose, and you're going to get that bar, and you're going to leave here with that bar. So I figured it out. I went to this guy called Stans, and Stans is basically the guy who makes sure all of our stuff is just right, dressed in our room. So when we get inspected, we don't fail. Friday comes, re-inspection comes. I'm standing by in my room. It was not just me, it was probably 3 or 4 other guys in their rooms. But anyway, I didn't care about them, I only cared about me. And I'm standing by waiting for the inspection to happen. He comes in, goes through the routine. He walks over to me and says, "Candidate, why didn't you do that the first time?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." I was so happy. I was like, oh man, this is great. I made it. I made it. I took off my subdued brass. I put on my shiny brass, and I took my dunce hat off. I was no longer ostracized and an alien from the group. I joined my group again, and I became a member of the tribe once more, and I was on my way. So I just had one more actually 2 more challenges, but they were kind of coupled together. One was pass the exam, which I'm fine in academics. I don't really have an issue with that. So I passed the exam, and then I had to pass the victory run, and we do that as a company. So it was the day of the victory run, and I'm out there. We're running, you know, everybody's excited. We're fired up. You know, only people that are really stressing at this point are those who failed the test. Well, I passed the test, so I'm good. So we're out running. I'm just ready. So we run around. It seems like the whole post, you know, Fort Rucker, and the company commander's leading us. And then we're heading back to the company, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. I can see it down the road. We're done. And on the way back, I pull a muscle. And I had never pulled a muscle before. And in the back of my leg, it just started tightening, and I'm running. I'm going, oh. And I usually run towards the front of the pack, you know, front of the formation. And then it was hurting so bad, I started slipping back. And I'm like, oh. And I'm trying to keep up. I'm not going to drop out. I end up at the back of the formation. I end up screaming basically on the way back. And he goes past the company area. And this guy running on the opposite side of me goes, "Prather, are you going to have that baby or what?" And I was like, oh my God, that's the comic relief I needed, because I was just about to drop. And I ran, and he went around a little short circle, and he came back to the company area, and the run was over. Thank God. And I was about to collapse. Whew. The run was over. He formed us up. He saluted. We saluted him back. And that was the end of that day. Thank God the next day, or next 2 days, was graduation. So the next day, I'm walking through the company area. Basically, everything's done. We're just waiting for graduation. And the task officers who have like this radar vision saw me at the other end of the doggone company area, said, "Candidate, are you okay?" Because I'm walking like this, okay? I'm just limping along. And I'm going, "Yes, sir. I'm good, sir." And I'm not going to sick call or anything. I'm graduating the next day. So I got my stuff together. I got my uniform already. We were all ready to go. I went to the graduation with a limp, but you know what? I made it to the finish line. I got my bars pinned on. And now at that moment, I was proud to say I was a warrant officer and no longer a warrant officer candidate. And I became a member of the Warrant Officer Corps. And I looked at Fort Rucker in my rearview mirror, and that was one of the happiest moments of my life. Thank God, thank God, thank God. And I finished another 20 years, and that's how I made it to 41 as a warrant officer.
All right. All right, Keith, give me a minute. I'm over here playing around in Zoom like I ain't been doing this for like the last 12 months. Jeez. There we go. Got everything back situated. Great job. Again, I tell you, these stories, when you plunk them out in your own life and you just kind of go there and you talk about it and you tell them, and it just further lets me know I made the right choice in going to Air Force. I'm not saying that we don't do work. I'm just saying I didn't do work in the Air Force. That's what I'm saying. More so looking at me. Ladies and gentlemen, that have been all the storytellers. So now we're going to get you ready for all the laughs that are coming. They are going to need you to get those cameras turned on. If you've got clothes on. I mean, it's been a long pandemic, and I know not everybody, as my friend P.T. Bratton would say, make sure you camera ready before your camera's ready. That's
right, right.
So I'm going to bring up the host that's going to take you through the rest of this show. You're going to love him. He is, I'm using his words because I'm a comedian. I would use all kinds of other words if I introduce people. So we're going to use his. He is a Renaissance man that loves to cook, golf, and make people laugh. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to your screen, Kelsey Storr.
Go, Kelsey. Thank you so much, Nick. Thank you so much. You know, first of all, let's give it up for Nick and all of our storytellers. They did a tremendous job.
Ooh, great job, guys.
Great job indeed. So again, I'm Kelsey Storr, and welcome to the stand-up portion of our show. We've got some really funny people on board tonight. And one thing we want you to know, again, I know it sounds like a public television telethon, but we can only do things like this with your help. And if you, with your generous contributions, preferably in a monthly gift, but with that monthly gift, you're also going to be eligible to see all of the shows for free. So we're not going to $5 you here, $5 you there. Please give the season pass a try, and I think it's something that you will get a lot out of. But you're going to do a lot more. You will be doing more for than you will get from, and I think that's the most important thing. So this evening, you've heard several of our artists talk about mentors and Black people that have meant so much to them in their lives. Well, I'm a 24-year naval veteran. I retired as a chief petty officer back in 2005. But I'm gonna go back a little bit in military history, because I want to talk to you about Daniel Chappie James. Daniel Chappie James was the first African-American to attain the rank of general. That's 4 stars in the United States Armed Forces. He was a Tuskegee Airman. He was a graduate of Tuskegee Institute. However, he did attend Virginia State University, go Trojans. He set the standard. He pushed forward. He did things that no one else had done and no one has done since. Now, I take another point of pride with General James for one very simple reason. He was also a good Kappa man. Those of you that know anything about me know that I love my fraternity, so I had to give a shout out to Chappie James on that level. But let's get on with the show. I don't know if y'all know this, but I am Black 24/7, 365, 52 weeks out of the year. However, in February, I am not that kind of Black. I'm not Barack Obama Black. I am blackity black during the month of February. Now, if you don't understand what blackity black is, let me give you some perspective. It's like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Eldridge Cleaver with Samuel L. Jackson thrown in wearing a red, black, and green dashiki. That's the kind of Black that I am during February.
All right now.
And I love it. If I had a fro, it would be out. I'd have my Angela Davis on. You would get one of these. You would get the pick. With the fist on it, you get the whole business. But unfortunately, I am follically challenged and unable to perform that miracle. There's a lot of things I can do. That's just not one of them. So let me explain to you my Blackness. Let me give you my reality. Okay. There have been a number of marches, a number of protests. And I will tell you that yeah, I've discovered some things about myself. But at one of the marches that I went to, you know what? I felt my Blackness grow in me. My Blackness was strong. My Blackness was big. My Blackness sounded like James Earl Jones. I was all in. So I went on a march. And the march went uphill and downhill. And uphill and downhill. And we sang. And there was camaraderie and there was love. And I felt really, really, really good about myself. Until the next morning. So the next morning, every fiber of my being hurt, especially my right knee, because I decided to tear the meniscus in that knee during my march. So it made me rethink some things. The first thing it made me do was rethink how we protest. Folks, protest age appropriately. When you are 58 years old or 57, God, I'm aging myself. When you are 57 years old, how do we age appropriately? How do we protest appropriately? We write a check. We write a check in black ink. We march our check to the mailbox. We extend our hand and we sing, lift every voice and sing on the way to the mailbox. Why?
Amen,
because
brother.
that's how we get down. Write a check. Now, I'm gonna give some other people a little 411, a little something y'all may not know, okay? This is a secret. And since we're all one village, this is an ASAP thing, we're all family, all right? So I'm gonna give y'all a little piece of information that everybody doesn't know. For tonight, y'all are all honorary Black people if you're not, but I'm gonna tell you something. Black folks, yeah, we don't protest in the cold. That's just one thing that we don't do. So when daylight savings time comes back and it's like 70 degrees as like the norm, we are all in. But until then, white folks, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Did y'all, wait a minute, after January 6th, I don't know if I can give that to y'all either. But I have faith. I have faith. But you know what? There's a lot of other stuff that's coming up, and there's some comics that are gonna blow your socks off. So you know what? Let's get to our first comic. This young lady is a graduate of ASAP's Comedy Boot Camp. She is incredibly funny. She's an Army veteran. She's an Army brat. She got her JD, her Juris Doctorate degree in barracks law while she was on active duty. And she will make you smile. She will make you laugh, and you will have a good time. I guarantee it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your screens, Dominique Cannon.
Yeah.
Go, Dominique.
Thank you, Kelsey. And thank you, ASAP and everyone for doing the show. I just want to do a quick check. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to talk about some serious subjects here. I know it's a comedy show, and I'm usually a people pleaser, and I try really hard to make people feel comfortable. And I know that Black History Month can be uncomfortable for some people, especially racist. And so I just want to let you all know that I'm okay with that. Because Black History Month is even more uncomfortable for the most underrated and underappreciated people in Black history, group of people in Black history, excuse me, which are the TBFs, the token Black friends. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. TBF is the friend that's right under your nose until Black History Month, and that's when you get to ask all those crazy questions, like why Martin Luther King decided to not be born in February. I'm gonna let y'all catch up on that one. And if you're Black and you don't have any Black friends, I'm willing to bet your name is probably Rachel Dozell. And I know it's really awkward for you, Rachel, because you're like the token Black friend of your whole family, and they didn't even know. I always assume that like being a token Black friend comes with like a high mortality rate because they have friends who can't see color, or excuse me, who don't see color. So that means if they ride in the passenger seat with them and the light turns red, someone's in trouble. But, and there's also, TBFs also have a high mortality rate because you can't eat around your white friends, because the ones that especially like to say things like, I don't care if you're blue, black, purple, or green. That means if I'm choking on my chicken and I start turning blue, I'm gone.
Sorry.
But there's nothing worse than, I mean, the one thing that's worse than being like a token Black friend is being a DBA, which, excuse me, a DBF, which is a designated Black friend. Designated Black friends aren't really like the friends of the people that claim to be their friends. They're just people that they see in passing, like your local barista, police officer that pulled you over, or even just the Black neighbor that really doesn't like you, but always speaks. Because whenever the DBA is always the friend of only racists and racists only, because racists always like to yell out, I'm not racist, I have a Black friend. And that means the designated Black person, the designated Black friend, has to be on high alert at all times, because there's going to be somebody looking for them to question their judgment. And I thought Black history was weird just because it's been going on for 40 years and everyone's okay with it because it's the way to show America and everyone else that America is not racist by segregating all of the history into one month. I don't know what the other months are for, but I assume that they're white only. Because here we are. Black history. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to say it with a straight face. You guys are making me laugh. Yeah, but being a token Black friend also is a great result of, or can produce another great friend that every Black person really should have, and that's your woke white friend, a WWF. Because WWF can explain to you why people still ask questions after 40 years of Black history existence that they can find right in their phones. That's when I don't know if a token Black friend has ever borrowed a friend of a friend's computer and seen their browser history, and all you see is hot blonde chicks, how to get away with murder, and how to express dog's anal glands, and they don't even have a dog, but yet they always. But yet they always ask the question.
Wow.
Why was it? At least you're not on here. The friend isn't on here, okay? So we just won't tell him, okay? Lost my train of thought on that one. I'm just gonna say thank you guys for joining the show. Again, please think of your token Black friends when you go to asap.org and donate $5 or more to this great organization that has opened up a lot of doors for obviously everyone here and veterans as a whole. Thank you, Corey. Thank you all, and have a great night.
Woo! Right. Let's give it up again for Dominique Cannon. Yeah, the woke white folks, yeah, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you. Well, can I take a moment to get a little something off my chest? Well, even if you say no, I'm gonna do it anyway. So about 2 weeks ago, I went to visit my mother in Florida. Now, I discovered something in visiting my mother in Florida because I left Miami in 1980. I joined the Navy. I raised a family. I retired from the Navy. But I went home a couple of weeks ago, and I'm here to tell you that 9 days in Miami turned into 12 years a slave, because I have never experienced anything like that before in my life. I washed more dishes, cooked more meals, sang more spirituals. I mean, got in touch with myself in the company of my mother than I ever thought was possible. But I did learn 3 things in spending time with Mom. I learned 3 things about myself. Can I share them with you?
Yes.
Thank you. Number 1, I is smart. I is kind. And 3rd, I is unimportant. That's what I learned spending 8 days in Miami with my mother. So, Marianne, if you out there, you got it, boss. I'm good. I won't run no more. Just don't cut off my foot. And my name is Kelsey. I know it's not Toby, but we good. Okay, just we're good, Marianne. Just be kind to me. So our next comment is the minister of mirth. The brother has the ability to bring happiness and joy. He brings a joyful noise unto our village.
Preach.
Boy, am I going to hell for this one. But on the real, ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to find anybody funnier. This man is the truth, the absolute truth. Put your hands together for P.T. Bratton.
Woo!
Wow, they unmute you and everything over here. This is first class. Thank you. I had to unmute myself. It's like you on. I ain't get no entry music or nothing. Okay, hey, I thought this was supposed to be Black History Month. You know we like music. I'm sorry. Big shout out, first of all, to I saw. I don't know if she's still on. Sabrina Clark. I ain't seen you in like a coon's age. That's what the people say down in the country.
Hey, PT, happy
50,
year.
11 years. Who else? My mother, my mother-in-law, stepmother, a father on here. I feel like I'm in church because the way he introduced me, first giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, to the saints that are gathered here today, to Pastor Brian thank you for your hospitality, sir, to First Lady Imka. See, if you go to black church, you know exactly what that is. Y'all like, oh, okay, all right. Mindy got the fan. I feel like I'm in church. Let me tell a joke or two. Lord, you don't have air conditioning where you are? It's cold where we is. Or you have one of the private summers. That's what that is? Okay. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't laugh so hard, Dwayne.
You said we is. Did you say we is?
Yes. Yes, I did. So I got one particular joke because I was thinking, okay, here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to celebrate Black History. So what stories do I have? All of them are about being Black because I'm Black. So let's talk about the holidays and meals. I'm looking forward to summertime. Hopefully after coming out of quarantine, people of color can be a little better about the time when it comes to our cookouts. Let me just say, because we got a mixed audience, I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. When you attend a cookout, I did not say a barbecue. I did not say a picnic. When you attend a cookout, and they say it's going to start at 4 o'clock, please understand. Don't show up at 4 unless you're ready to help out. Don't show up at 4 because the meat ain't gonna be thawed, the grill ain't gonna be on, and they're gonna ask you to go get ice. So please, for your own, this is a public service announcement. If they say 4, show up around 6:30. That's when things start get going. I showed up at 4, and this is my family, so I can say this. This is my family. I showed up at 4. They said start at 4. I come in, I don't smell anything cooking. I just feel like if you say it start at 4, something should smell like it's cooking. I'm not the best chef, but if you cut up some onions and put it in a pot, it's gonna smell like you're doing something. And I'm just saying, I'm in my feelings because I come in, ain't nothing going on but the rent. And you come downstairs with rollers in your hair, slippers on your feet, and you ain't took your shower yet. We got a problem. We got a problem. And then because I am a man of faith and I believe that we should help one another out, I feel compelled to help. And I say, mother, do you need some help? Child, yes. Over in the corner is a sack of potatoes. I said, hold tight, a sack of potatoes. What's this gonna be? Because there ain't nothing instant about a sack of potatoes. If this is gonna be bread salad, we got a problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Usually when I do these jokes, I'm like, any veterans in the house? There are veterans in the house. So we just going to jump to the punchline. So my nickname is PT, as you know, and it's ironic that I chose PT because I hate PT. I hate physical training. I don't see the point in it. I don't see the need for it. There's only 2 times you need to run.
Hallelujah.
You need to run when someone's chasing you or when you're chasing somebody. Other than that, look, let's dispel this rumor right now that there is such a thing called a fun run. There ain't nothing about it that is fun. You can put fun in the title, but a lie is a lie. You cannot make me believe.
That's right.
While I'm talking about running, that brings up the subject of horror movies. I don't watch horror movies anymore because it's just not realistic. Have you ever understood that in the horror movies, the person that look like they are the fit as a fiddle are the ones that fall down when the killer get behind them? I don't understand. The killer is slow walking, and you look like you run for fun. You're one of those people that run for fun, and here you are falling down when the killer gets behind you. What is going on? That's just not realistic. Just not realistic. And I didn't used to like horror movies. For a minute, I thought that horror movies, they always kill the Black person off, too early. Once you get that close up, it's over. We all know. Once you get the close up, he about to die. And I'm like, man, this ain't right. I think it's racist. But then I realized it wasn't racist. It's real. It's real because they understood that, look, if you don't kill us first, you ain't going to kill us, okay? I'm trying to tell you, when the Black start getting poor, we are out. We will make a way out of nowhere. We will make our way out of it. That's what I love about our people. We are resilient. We are not. I'm just saying. This is why all my friends are fat. I may not be first, but I'm sure not going to be last. Look, I'm PT Brandon. Thanks for laughing at a brother.
Good set, BT. Good set. Good set, BT.
That's all right, brother.
I don't have to be the fastest. I just got to be faster than you. That's all that matters. So for some of you, this is your first foray. I'm sorry. Wait. Can we please give it up again for my good brother, P.T. Bratton? Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff indeed. Yeah. I was a little remiss at the beginning of this, and I did not explain that we as comics, we as performers have certain rules. Now, at an ASAP show, there's certain words that you shall not use. We don't use the F word. If you've noticed, we don't use that word. We don't use the C word because nope, that's a naughty thing. We don't do that. But you know what? I'm the MC, so I get to make the rules. So right now, I need to talk to y'all about the N word. You know what? I embrace the N word. The N word has its place. The problem is that we are ashamed. We are too caught up in our own lives that, you know what? Sometimes you just got to drop it. So you know what? I taught that word to my grandchildren. I taught that word to my children. I expect them to understand that word and the power of that word. The word is nap. For real.
Hello, somebody.
Amen.
Yes,
Nap.
I need one. I need one.
You can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do. Brian, you can breathe now because it wasn't that word. But we all got to have a good time, and that's why we are here. So our next comic is also a graduate of ASAP's Comedy Boot Camp. I was lucky enough to be the tit for her class, tit as in teacher in training. She is extremely funny. She comes to us by way of New York City. She is all that in a bag of chips, hot flash and fans all the way. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jeanette Mendy.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Yoo-hoo.
Kelsey, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. And I just want to let you know, there's nothing wrong with the audio. I really am a grown-ass Black woman with a little white girl voice. Being this Black with this voice has caused some funny moments. You should have seen the faces when I went to a new job after a telephone interview. They were expecting somebody like from the cast of Friends, not the cast of Blackish.
Wow.
And it's not just Americans who get all tripped up with my voice. I kid you not. I was going through customs in Ghana and the agent asked me one question. Is that your real voice? I wanted to tell him, no, this is just the voice I used to go through customs, but I didn't want to add a trip to a Ghana jail to my itinerary. It's 2 months into the new year and I'm still working on my resolution to eat better. I decided I was gonna have a green smoothie for breakfast every single morning. I don't know why I thought it would taste like a milkshake. It certainly didn't. But that first day, I was able to choke down a very green concoction. But an hour later, I was starving. And I thought I need a better plan. So I sat down with a stack of pancakes and about a pound of bacon to really think about how to eat better. I did come up with a plan though. I traded my chips and cookies for fruits and vegetables. I walk more on the treadmill and I increased my water intake by trading my wine for beer.
Come on.
And I actually took a walk, not on the treadmill yesterday, but I went outside. It was so good to get out of my house. I have been stuck inside reading too many books, watching too many movies, and ordering way too much from Amazon. So I think I need an intervention. I now have enough boxes to build a life-size, multi-storied cardboard house with a little smiley face arrow thingy on every single window. I've also been listening to a lot of music while I've been stuck inside the house. All kinds of music. Jazz, rock, classical, country. I love country music. And yes, Black people, even without a little white girl voice, like country music. And there's just something about a country song that makes me want to put on a pair of Daisy Dukes, grab a cute guy on a big green tractor, and go to a party with friends in low places with red Solo cups. But I live just outside DC, so I don't think I'll be seeing a tractor on the road anytime soon. And finding a guy is tough. Really, I have a hard time dating. But I did go with a guy just the other day, and he was really nice. And he was bubbly, he was clean, he smelled so good. But my friends tell me Mr. Bubble isn't really a date. I did try to talk to another guy just the other day, and he told me that a woman should treat a man like a king. I told him that he should feel like a king just sitting next to a queen like me. I never heard from that guy again.
Now,
But one good thing about not having a lot of dates is that I have time to work, and I work a lot. I have my real job, and I have my volunteer job as condo board president. And I can't believe it's been 7 years that I've been the president without throat punching somebody at least once. Dealing with condo owners is an experience. And most of these people are old enough to be my grandparents. And I don't know what it is about condo board meetings that makes seemingly rational people become bickering children. And I don't know what to do. How do I tell grandma she needs a timeout? Or tell grandpa he needs to play well with others? So I came up with an idea. Started having all of our meetings in the gym with boxing gloves. The first one to knock out the other's dentures wins the argument. You would think I would know better than to volunteer for something after being in the Army. But I have to admit, the Army, it did teach me some really good things. I learned responsibility, how to work with all kinds of people, and how to run 5 miles in the morning, still drunk from partying the night before. The Army taught me how to fire a 50 caliber machine gun and how to throw a hand grenade. Not much use in my office job now, but that sure does condo owners. And I also learned some really valuable language skills. I can use Spanish, Korean, and German to ask a guy if he's single, lives in his mother's basement, or wants to come sit next to me and feel like a king. Mindy, you guys have been great. Thank you so much for coming.
All right. Woohoo! Give it up for Jeanette Mendy. Hey, Jeanette, something I think you need to understand. I understand your love of country music, and that's a wonderful thing. But you do realize if you play a country record backwards, you get your truck back, you get your wife back, you get your dog back. Yeah, I think you get everything back if you just play it in reverse. But I just heard that, because if I listen to country music, I break out in hives. So our next comment Yes, this brother's on one. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know what you're about to get, because he's gonna bring it. Now, he's been locked up for a while. No, not because of that ankle thing, but because of COVID. So he's just glad to be out the house, even if it's virtual. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Coming to your screen, Mr. Robert Marshall.
Robert.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Rob.
Black History Month. Power to the people. Power to the people. Like, I mean, they still giving us the shortest day of the month, but last year we had the whole year, so I guess I'm not going to complain. But one thing about me, y'all gotta realize, one thing about me is, like, I'm lazy. I'm real lazy. And, like, I knew that was going to be an issue when I joined the military, because of the first day we was outside and, we sitting out there, we in formation, and they were like, we got to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, 6 o'clock in the morning? Why we got to be up so early? They're going to tell me the enemy never sleeps. And I was like, hold on. I was like, I called the enemy and they said they don't get up to 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I know. But yeah, I'm lazy. And, like, I've been seeing on Facebook all these 23andMe's and all of these Ancestry.coms. And yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared to do mine, y'all. I'm scared to do mine. And it's not because I'm scared to know where I come from, because they don't make these lips in the Netherlands. So I know it's not that. It's just, I'm just scared to know who I come. I'm just scared to know who I'm related to. Because there's some people I just don't want to be related to. I'm not gonna lie. If I do the little, 23andMe, sending my DNA to random people that I don't even know, that's another story. But anyway, and if it comes back and it says that it's Harriet Tubman, I'm gonna have to send it back. I'm gonna have to send it. I'm gonna have to be returned to sender, because Harriet Tubman, she was bad. She was out there freeing all the slaves, but her legacy is too much for my laziness. Like, I can't live with that. She did too much. Like, Black people, I'm telling you right now, Black people, if it was up to me for us to be free, we would not be having a Black History Month right now. Black History, because we'll still be in slavery. Because I would have been too late. Like, the first time they would have told me, they would have came to me and was like, oh, we're going to go on the Underground Railroad. I would have been like, ooh, a railroad. I've been on the train before. If they would have said, nah, we walking, I would have nah, I'm staying, because I'm like, I'm not walking from Atlanta to Toronto. I'm not walking. I would have been making up all excuses. I would have been like, y'all know I got bad arches in my feet. I can't be doing all that walking.
Okay.
And we fall in the North Star. Y'all ain't got no other navigation. Y'all ain't got no Apple map, nothing, just a star. I'm like, y'all didn't think this out right. Y'all really didn't. I was like, y'all know what? I'm just gonna wait till these white people start fighting each other, and I'm just gonna wait here, y'all. Y'all do it. I'm down for y'all. I'm gonna hold it down for y'all. But I was gay in the military. I was, and no, I wasn't in the Navy. I was not in the Navy. And I know the Navy, they hate that joke, but it's not my fault. The village people outed y'all. The village people. So y'all mad at them? Y'all mad at me? Y'all gotta be mad at the village. But my thing is, how did the Navy become the tops of the gays, though? How did they become the top? Was there some competition? There was some gay games that they had and they won? Because I want my money back. No, we gotta do this over again. But there's gays in other services too. We gay too. Dude, we want our chance. No. I'm a top. Be on the top. So no, we want to do that over. But Nah, I'm just jealous because the Navy, they got their little cute uniforms and everything. They in the little white little handkerchiefs around their neck. I want to be cute too. We up here in some green and some brown. You know I'm black, so that shit just clashes against my skin. Shoot, I want some pops. But I was gay, black, and infantry, and I don't know what I was doing when I did that, but I saw the Be All You Can Be commercial in the 90s, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna test that. Ooh, I'm gonna test that. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna be all that I can be in the military. But then when I got in, yeah, that was a scam too, because apparently you can't be. You can be. You're gonna be some of it. They only want you to be some of it. But I don't understand how people didn't know I was gay though. I really don't, because I was the only, like, I had a Sephora in my locker. I had all the skincare, and they used to come to me. They used to be like, Marshall, you got some face wash? I'm like, yeah. You know, I was like a drug. Like, come in my little locker, I got you. So I was like, y'all don't know. But they didn't. You know, I guess I was a top. You know, I guess I was passing. All this time, I'm a top then. But another thing about being gay and you're in the military is like people ask you these stupid questions. You know, they're like, you know, and sometimes it just gets annoying. They ask me, they're gonna ask me, oh, did you join the military because to be around all those men? And I'm like, I don't know how gay you think I am. But gay. I'm really not gay. Like, I'm not going to war just to be around some men. The gayness you think I'm on, I'm not on that one. Because, you know, there's many other ways to be around men. And I'm not getting hit with an IED. No, not for that. Not for that. But yeah, and another thing about being gay is like people, like when I invite them over, people think they're getting, you know, people think they're going to gay Disneyland, you know? And like it be sucks because I know like they're gonna be so disappointed when they walk in, because I'm very much giving you gay Hunger Games. It's not going to be Disney, so you gotta curb your enthusiasm, because that's not what I'm giving you. But thank you all, I'm Robert, and thank you for coming out and hear me.
Yahoo!
Give it up for Robert Marshall. Give it all the way up for Robert Marshall. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. I need a minute. But you know what, Robert, I'm glad you brought up a lot of those topics. So let's clear away some of that. Let's work with that a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm all on board. Love who you love who loves you. Be good to each other, be kind to each other. That's all cool with me. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I do have to ask your community a question. Yeah, why y'all trying to take up all the letters? Why can't you leave some for the rest of us? Now you're doing symbols. You got pluses, you're repeating vowels. So this is not Wheel of Fortune. That's all I'm trying to say. You know, you're being selfish. I'm just asking you for a minute. Just leave some letters for the rest of us. Yes. Just my public service announcement. So, I don't know if y'all have picked up on it, but we have gone boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. So guess what? There's another female on this in this lineup. But this female is real special. She is as hard as a coffin nail. She takes no guff. She is large and in charge. You know what? She is my shero. Why? Because she's a mama to 5 boys. I got 3, and I done lost all my hair, and she's got all of hers, so she must be all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nikki Knowles. Go, Nikki.
Yay.
Hey, everyone. I was like, who he talking about? Oh, that's me. And I only knew when he said my voice. Kelsey was saying like the words we can't use, and I was like, what C word can't we use? I was like, I don't know. Because the only C word I can't use, I don't want to use is children. Like, no, I don't. Children, don't ask me if I want any more children. I don't. Don't ask me. Why? I got 5 boys. People are like, didn't you try for a girl? I didn't try for 3 of the 5 kids that I had. In the relationships of that. So, but yeah. Honestly, I used to hate Black History Month when I was little. Like, it just was awkward for me because I was like the only Black kid in the class. I went to school in Montgomery County. And so whenever we had Black History Month, our school tried to be inclusive and creative, and it was just wrong, like totally wrong. Like we would, in the 5th grade, oh no, it was the 4th grade. I remember us watching Roots.
Oh.
Show 4th graders. It was a 5-day series. Like every day we would take an hour out of the day to watch Roots, and then being the only Black person in the classroom, you get the kids looking over their shoulder at you. So, just earlier, let me set my time because I know PT and Dwayne and Nick are over my time. I don't. Because I don't see the light because I got a Forrest Whitaker eye, and then you wear these fake eyelashes. You can't. At any rate, they would ask me dumb questions like at recess and stuff like, so, did y'all eat pig's feet at your house? No, we don't eat pig feet. We eat the same thing. We eat everything that you eat, or like, does your house look like a shack? What? We live in the same neighborhood. What are you talking about? But this is the one that used to get on my nerves because, I am a thick-lipped sister. I'm proud of it now. But back then they were like, so when you were a baby, did your mom have to put a plate in your lip like they did on National Geographic? Oh. Now, but then I was just like, that's not right. So, and it didn't help, the lighter ones in my family, because most of my family is dark. My dad actually looks like TD Jakes. I thought it was my dad for a while. The lighter ones in my family, my aunt used to always tell me that my father was the milkman. So I really didn't know what that meant. I didn't know that was an expression until I got into like the 8th grade, and they were talking about Black History Month and where your ancestors come from and everything. And so they asked me, where did your ancestors come from? And so I'd be like, well, I was always told my father's the milkman. And so, the teachers were like, when you get called into the office with your parents and you have to explain, that's just saying. So just the Black History Month is just not for me. And then in school, they actually played this game. I will never forget. They played this game in the 4th grade. They were like, we are going to play Free the Slaves. Yeah, that's how. So the actual game is you remember those parachute things when you were in elementary school? You throw it up in the air, try to run through it to get to the other side. Well, that was called Freeing the Slaves in my school. And so I was all excited to play. And I heard my ancestors say, you better not even go over there. You better have a seat on these bleachers and tell your But now that I'm older, I can embrace Black History Month and our culture and stuff like that. But now that I'm older, I have some other things I have to worry about. Like, you know who Tamla Mann is? She sings a song called Take Me to the King. And so she's talking, so I have these Take Me to the King moments because I feel like I'm too young to be this old. You know what I'm saying? I'm 46 and but I'm 46 years old and I'm just like, Lord, I should not be hearing my knees pop when I get off the couch. Like, so I feel like now here, like when you answer the phone, you be like, hold on here. My grandmother says that. Hold on here. You ever? I got a TikTok to prove with my kids that I'm still cool, and I just got it going on. So I got a TikTok and I'm doing all these dances and I threw my back out. So I was like, I'm too young to feel this old. And so, now that I'm getting older, you got to watch what you eat. Like, and maybe you women can attest to this. Like, I can't go too far from a bathroom. The bladder is just not what it used to be. People, the K word. Can we do that? Don't cook me on the show. I love ASAP. But I'm just saying, I go to the car, gotta come back, go to the bathroom. Like, you gotta check, get your keys, find your jacket, go to the bathroom, get to the car, go to the bathroom. It takes me 30 minutes to get anywhere. Like he said, I have 5 boys and they all play sports, and you thinking you got everybody in the car and going home, and then you get a call from somebody, I'm at the field, you're gonna go pick me up, and I'm thinking, who is, I just count heads at this point. It's just too many. I'm like, I got 5 kids in the car. Who is this extra child? So I'm looking, I'm like, who are you? He was like, well, you said get in the car and I needed a ride home. I was like, no, that's not how we doing this. Any day. I really should have like tied my tubes in the 90s. My kids, they got a smart mind. Put them in their place. Like, my son was like, why is your belly so big? And I was like, why is your head so big? The size of my belly. Let's just think about it. And then, you shouldn't make fun of your kids like that. That's going to give them a complex. And so I was like, okay, I'm sorry. You don't oh, that was my son. You don't have a big head, but you got a strong neck. Tell you, my name's Nikki Knowles. Thanks, guys.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the lovely and talented Nikki Knowles.
Nice.
So, Nikki, you don't really get to complain with that whole age thing, because I've survived 2 things, or actually I'm in the middle of one. I survived the other. What I survived was my spouse having menopause. So I survived, the evil dwarves of menopause, itchy, bitchy, twitchy, and mildly homicidal. So now I'm engulfed in, I got menopause. Okay, so menopause is grumpy, lumpy, bumpy, and droopy. I'm gonna let you figure out which parts we're talking about, but maybe that's a little more information y'all actually needed. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up on our last comic of the night. This gentleman is an incredible talent. He has opened for D.L. Hughley. He has performed at the White House when culture mattered there. and now he is a retired Army officer, and he is an ASAP comedy boot camp instructor. Can you put your hands together for the captain of Team Fred McKinnon?
Woo!
Woo! Get him. I want to thank you guys for this opportunity and give a round of applause for all the performers you've seen thus far. I really thank the comedians for being funny, so I don't have to be funny. I can talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the pandemic. It is changing the way we live. I'm gonna focus on 3 areas of tonight of how it changes my life. First of all, it changed the way I pray. I didn't know you had to be specific when you prayed, because in January 2020, this was my prayer. Lord, thank you for all the comedy opportunities you've given me and the blessings you've given me. And this gonna be the year I finally get that paper. Now, either everybody in the world said the same prayer, or the Lord got a sense of humor, because everybody was getting that paper. I didn't know it was gonna be toilet paper. Oh, I got so much toilet paper. I'm trying to get rid of it, and I'm gonna get rid of it tonight, because here's the problem. This is a Black history show, all Black performers, and the problem is we ain't getting paid. That should not be happening in 2021. I'm telling you, people. So I'm gonna fix it tonight. If you don't protest, don't march. All you got to do is cash out. Can you see it? Team Fred 757. And I will send you a roll of toilet paper. Send me 75 cents, $1 or something. This is I need some help, people. Seriously. I need some help. All right, that was joke 1. I ain't got but 2 left. Okay. The pandemic is the way we interact with people. 2 years ago, you in the grocery store, somebody right behind you, they say, Achoo. Everybody on here would turn around and smile and say what? God bless you.
Bless you.
You go to the grocery store now, you can have your AirPods in. They could be 3 rows over. They sneeze, you be like, oh my God, you better go on with that BS. Just like my grandma, they got that mess. You be like, they got that mess. You say they got that mess, they be like, I ain't got that mess. It's just my allergies. If you ain't got no Benadryl or no EpiPen, you ain't got no allergies. You got that mess. You better go get checked out, seriously. Or you better wear a mask. And if you're gonna wear a mask, let me tell you something. Please, if you're gonna wear a mask, people, I need you to do this for me. I'm trying to make this right. If you're gonna wear a mask, you got the disposable, you got the cloth. Wear the mask, but let me tell you, if you wear it for longer than 2 hours and pull it down and start talking, your breath gonna be on hell. You cannot come out for 2 hours and think your breath is not gonna stink. It ain't possible. You people out there that's wearing that mask 3 days in a row and you take it off and they got that brown streak in it, look like a dirty baby's diaper. You got that pause breath. You got that pause breath. When they talk and your screen freeze, ain't nothing wrong with your internet. It's your breath. I mean, just you shut the whole internet down with that pause. But since they not paying us, I took matters in my own hand. I created a new product line. I call it the Mask Deodorant Starter Kit. For $15, again, they not paying us, so you can cash app Team Fred 757, and I will send you a starter kit. It contains this liquid. Put in your mouth, rinse it around. Now you can get the same liquid at your Chinese store, but they may not be open. I got this organic spray. This is multi-purpose. You can clean your oven, your car rims, and the back of your throat to get that dirt out because your breath is cold. Cash app me $15 because, like I said, they're not paying us, and I need that, seriously. And the third way the pandemic is affecting us is our jobs. People are losing their jobs, and it's hurting the economy, man. I lost my job, and it was sad. I was depressed. I went down to the temp agency, and it changed my life. They built up my self-esteem. They believed in me more than I believed in myself. They had to. Anytime you give me jobs that I'm way underqualified for. On Monday, I was on the back of a trash truck picking up trash cans in the neighborhood. On Tuesday, I was a substitute kindergarten teacher getting bullied. I walked into class, a little 5-year-old boy said, "You the new teacher?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You stink." I said, "Sit your tail, man. I just left my job, boy." I said, "You still peeing in your pants." Somebody stink. Wednesday, they had me as a part-time Alcoholic Anonymous counselor. I ain't know nothing about AA. I'm listening to this lady talk for an hour. After hours, she said, "What you think?" I said, "Let's go get a drink because you got problems. I don't know what's going on with you." I mean, I ain't had no or nothing. On Thursday, they gonna send me to Langley Air Force Base. They made my dreams come true. They had me working at NASA. In honor of Black History Month, do you know they made me the first African-American part-time astronaut, a part of that space program? They flew me right to the space station. I'm in the space station. I ain't had no helmet. I felt like the Tuskegee experiment, walking around coughing. I ain't had no duties. I ain't know what I was supposed to do. I just started doing what I did on Monday. I just started walking around picking up the trash. I ain't know what to do. So that lady, I said, "Look, you need to send me back to Earth and put me in marketing." She said, "You good at marketing?" I said, "Yeah." So Friday, they put me in marketing. You know what they had me doing? They had me standing in front of Chick-fil-A in a cow outfit waving. This is not marketing. Because I was part-time, I ain't even had a whole cow outfit. I just had the head. When the last time you seen a cow with a polo shirt, some skinny jeans, some Jordans? That ain't no cow, man. That ain't no cow. I called my mama crying. She said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Mom, I'm in the cow outfit, and this ain't no marketing." She said, "Baby, look at the blessing in disguise." I said, "What's the blessing in disguise?" She said, "You in the cow outfit, don't nobody know it's you." She said, "Go out there, baby, have fun." I said, "You right." I went on my break. I had the chicken sandwich. I had some leftover alcohol from the AA meeting. I drank all that, got drunk. They're gonna fire me because I left my post. Let me tell you, I went out there drunk. I know I was supposed to be on the sidewalk waving. My drunk tail was in the middle of the street. Looked like I was dodging cars. I was actually dancing. I was grooving. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was dancing so much, 5 minutes went by, I look up. I wasn't in front of Chick-fil-A. I was down in front of Burlington Coat Factory talking about eat more chicken. I said, "This is terrible right here." Hey, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, Cash App Team Fred 757. They not paying us. That's not right. That's not right.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up again for Mr. Fred McKinnon.
Yeah,
Team Fred.
All right.
Well, have y'all had a good time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the bottom line. Have you all had a good time? Because that's what we want you. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And you know what? This good time happened because so many of you have made contributions to ASAP, the Armed Services Arts Partnership. Now, these shows go on all the time. We've done so many virtual shows. We also do so many workshops and classes for veterans, their family members, their caregivers, for the entire military community. It doesn't mean that if you didn't wear a uniform, you're not in the club, because guess what? This is a village, and our village is very large. And our village only works when you work in the village. So if you can, if you have the means, I know some of us right now are struggling a little bit because of the economy and because of COVID, but if you can, donate to ASAP, become a season pass holder, and take advantage of all the wonderful things that we are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my utmost pleasure to be with you this evening. Let's give it up again for all the performers tonight. I need to go through the comments one more time. Give it up for Dominique Cannon. Give it up for P.T. Brett. Give it up for Jeanette Mendy. Give it up for Robert Marshall. Give it up for Nikki Knowles. And of course for Team Fred. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it has been my biggest pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Good night, y'all.